Hello, everyone, and welcome to the slightly late Absolute WSL and Women's Championship show, but for good reason, because we've all been distracted watching the match, because Liverpool have just taken the lead 2-1. Do we know who scored that second goal, by the way? Gemma Bonner. Well done. Isn't it her 150th appearance tonight as well? Gemma Bonner. See, that's what it's all about. And we all said, in fact, let's open with this. So we were all looking forward to it, kind of going, can Liverpool put up this fight? And Rosie, as our resident newest Chelsea player, as part of the squad, we will explain all that when we come back to it. But looking ahead to this game, Rosie, kind of, did you think Liverpool were going to be a really good fight, or did you think, yeah, it's 3 points, we can do it?
Do you know what? I've heard so many people saying we need to win 7-0, 8-0, and I thought I'd just be happy to win, because Liverpool are a side that you can never ever count out. Yeah. And it's not. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy game going in, but yeah, for at least a win, which hopefully we will snatch.
Yeah, because the way we all see it going, it's going to come down to goal difference, isn't it? So you can understand the people saying 7 or 8-0, but that's never going to be realistic, is it? Against Liverpool. Thank you, Emma, in the chat already. Came off Cuthbert. Oh, she's gonna, yeah. I reckon Erin's going to come back fighting and be like, no, I'm going to redeem myself. I'm not going to do it. I will not let this stand. So we will have updates coming through. I think we've all kind of got it playing on the side, so I promise not to be too distracted as we talk. But keeping on a Chelsea theme then, I thought we could start with Rosie. Do you want to tell everyone, if they haven't been following your Twitter this week, why you are our new superstar?
So I signed for Chelsea on Sunday. No, I actually put a tweet out. So I was doing like an event for 3 on the Sunday at Chelsea. And I was in like the little press room, and I was very, very clearly joking. Like, if you don't know, it was a joke. I wasn't trying to convince people that I had signed for Chelsea. I put a tweet out saying, I've signed for Chelsea. No shirt, no contract, no Emma Hayes, no Paul, nothing. And I got about 100 new followers. I think it's on 5k likes. Wow. So I'm doing pretty well.
And when is your debut? Just so we all know.
Sunday.
Perfect. Right. Well, everyone tune in Sunday because Rosie's going to make her first appearance.
Just signed, so it's kind of like Emma thought it was a bit rushed for me on today.
Well, exactly. Trip right up to Liverpool. It's extra time. It's you want to get ready. You want to get ready for the weekend, don't you? Really. But yeah, I couldn't believe the interaction you got. To be fair, it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So it just shows everyone, if you want to get some traction on Twitter, just say you signed for Chelsea, and then after that, say what you want with all that coming in. But actually, sticking on even more Chelsea news, you were actually there at Stamford Bridge for the sellout for the Barcelona match. Now, Champions League, are we quite over it? Can we talk about it yet?
We can talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, through gritted teeth, we could talk about it. Now, this is for everyone as well, not just Rosie. But Rosie, as you were there, kind of talk us through it. How did you feel going into it? Because it was 1-0 on aggregate, wasn't it, after that first leg, where you beat Barcelona at home, and it was this fantastic, standpoint to get into it. So yeah, how are you and the rest of the Chelsea fans feeling, kind of going into that?
Let me just compose myself. So I was very excited going in. I think you could tell on the last podcast I was buzzing about the win. We beat Barca, like that's historical. That was incredible.
Yeah. And
the sellout as well, it just felt like it was meant to be. So I think everyone around me went into it like expecting a win. And it was just a shame because last year, like obviously it was Barca in the semi-final again, but they were the better team. And I accepted that. Yeah. So that loss didn't feel like, I wasn't as bitter about that because over both legs, they were better. Fine. But I mean, when you've got things like the ref laughing, stupid yellow card, like it's...
Yeah, so we'll get into that, shall we? We'll Chloe and Paul, we both watched this one as well.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, as a neutral, I thought it was a great game. I quite enjoyed watching it as a neutral setting, and I thought it was going to happen and Chelsea would clinch it, to be fair. But I mean, surprised, not surprised that it's Barca. I mean, they technically were the better team on the day, but no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was both teams put up a good fight, and yeah, good game.
Good game. Now there were lots of comments about the ref, as Rosie alluded to there. Paul, what was your thoughts on the reffing during that match? Because some questionable choices, is putting it politely, I think. But yeah, what was your take on it?
I think that we saw a fine example of a big club. Well, Chelsea and Barca are both massive clubs, so you can't claim the difference. But I think we saw a fine example of mind games by a big club having an effect, because you had Bonmati going full spitting dummy out of the pram in the press during the week about how Chelsea played and they weren't punished enough and all of this sort of thing. You had all sorts of comments from Barca fans and several players about how in the first leg they felt hard done by the referee, which I thought was very funny in the state of 70,000 or 40, 50. And I thought that it was just a situation where Barca came and Barca had a game plan and it worked.
To rattle them, to kind of get under the skin and to make it work. Now, the reffing situation, if we're being a bit more specific about it, so in particular, it was a second yellow/red for Buchanan, wasn't it? Now, a lot of people have then said that wasn't a yellow, that second yellow, but overall, was it then worth 2 yellows over the match rather than that defining moment? Do we think it could have possibly been that? Or was it more to do with Badri's reaction to Buchanan's foul, do we think? Because when you play it in slow motion, isn't it, it gets worse every time you look at it from different angles. So it went in, it looked like Buchanan went in on Patri's foot and then gets her in the face as she's turning as well. So from the ref's perspective, could that have been seen as more of a violent challenge and therefore worthy of a second yellow? Or Rosie, what do you think? Because was the first yellow even a yellow?
Well, I think what Barca were doing, they were trying to get a reaction. So if they went down, they would absolutely call for it because they knew that anytime they called for something, the ref would do it. So Patrick immediately just went down, crashing down. That's what everyone was doing. I don't think either of them. Well, I need to watch back the first one. I don't know, but I don't think the second one was a yellow. Definitely. I mean,
because didn't Aitana say to the ref, you know, that's a second yellow, give her a red? Like there was a lot of mind games going on. Yeah, and Emma Hayes made some interesting comments, didn't she? When she said, "I was surprised when that." Ref got selected because she's known to be a bit card happy. Now, we've seen managers either say, look, I'm not saying anything because it's going to get me in trouble. Or we'll see managers go, right, I'm sick of it. You know, this cost us the game. So ultimately, did the reffing, I'll ask you a different way. Did the reffing cost Chelsea the game? Or, yeah, let's stick with that question first. Did the reffing cost Chelsea the game? For anyone?
I mean, ultimately, no matter what the ref does, you've got 11 players on the pitch who should have been scoring goals, should have made a difference. So I think that had we had a different ref, it might have gone a different way. But you can't discredit the players on the pitch because they need to be scoring goals, they need to be making a difference. So possibly it could have affected it, but that's just what I got off on the day.
And that's the thing. Paul, what do you reckon about the overall standard of the referee? And was it suitable for that level, do you think? Could Chelsea, like Rosie said, well, actually, still had 10 players on the pitch. Should they have fought harder, really, to get the result? What do you think?
I think I think you can argue that, but I also think that the Buchanan red card was an absolute shocker, not least because the challenge 10 seconds before that was way worse. Like, if you watch the replay, I think it's Cuthbert, when the loose ball breaks in the first place, who gets absolutely taken out for the ball to break in the first place. And that doesn't get punished. Then a challenge which is maybe worth the first yellow, but I think when you're a referee giving a second yellow in a Champions League semi-final like that, you need something that is, I'm sure that's a yellow, and that was a borderline. I think if VAR had reviewed that, they'd never have given it. Genuinely.
And
that's the thing that annoys me the most about it, not even as a Chelsea fan. It's the fact that they made a big song and dance out of having VAR, and the one thing they needed it the most for, they couldn't actually use because of a loophole in the rules. And that was, I think it showed everything up, and the ref smiling as well. I just think that, you don't want to imply corruption or anything, but that's just wrong.
Yeah, so for those people who missed it, so it was after the decision, wasn't it? And the camera kind of zoomed in and she was laughing. Now, we don't know. I mean, she shouldn't have been laughing in the first place because of how it looked on camera. But we don't know whether it was someone that said something in her ear, maybe that she'd heard, or she was reacting to something else, or maybe from the crowd. But it has left kind of a sour taste, hasn't it? That it was to do with the reaction and her decision ultimately. So yeah, it's one of those again where we're talking about the reffing and the officiating rather than what actually happened in the game. So we'll put a pin in that purely because we could be here all night. But I thought for both teams, both Katakoi and Hannah Hampton had to make some proper spectacular saves to keep it as it was. Especially your favourite Kat Macario, Rosie. She had a brilliant shot, didn't she? If that had gone in.
I think something just happened. I don't know what. Sorry, yeah, she did.
What, in the match?
Don't know. I just had.
Yeah, Chelsea have equalised.
Oh, what? Am I behind? What's going on?
It's 2-2.
I haven't.
Wow.
Aggie again.
Oh, what? Okay, why is Sky Sports behind? What is going on? I pay for this.
I think if Chelsea lose this, Man City can win the title on Sunday. I'm just ramping up the pressure a bit.
Okay, I've just seen it. That was a good one. That was good. Yep. Aggie with the winner. With the winner? No, with the equaliser. What is wrong with my brain? What has gone on? Okay, so if anyone else watching it, and I've had a couple of people comment saying, we'll join after the match, we'll start watching. So we might have an influx of people in about 10-15 minutes. But yeah, it's the 80th minute. Aggie Jones has just equalised for Chelsea. It is 2-2. Liverpool 2, Chelsea 2. So yeah, so if we keep looking down at our phones like that, we are keeping up to date with the match to bring you all the latest. But it seems like Chloe is ahead of us in that respect. So Chloe, you shout, okay, if you find something with that one. I also thought Newskin's efforts.
Oh, Liverpool have just scored.
This is the dangers of live telly, isn't it?
And Emma as well. Thank you, Emma, keeping us up to date. Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. That was a complete mix-up. Oh, was that Missy Wilkins? Oh, Emma Hayes' face. She was fuming.
I feel like I'm watching Soccer Saturday.
Imagine. It was Leanne Kernan.
Oh, was it Leanne Kernan? There we go. Oh, I just saw like the flash of hair, and I was like, who was it? Who was it? Oh, that was phenomenal. Right, so what happened here? Let's do some live match reporting. So, Chelsea turned over the ball. Brilliant run, not offside. Now, pause the camera down. And goes in, past Hannah Hampton, one-on-one with Hannah Hampton, and beats her. Yay. Oh. Right, so 81 minutes, 3-2 to Liverpool. Okay. Now, as Paul rightly said, if Chelsea do lose this one, that gives Man City a bit of breathing room. But goal difference, obviously it was they'll come down to goal difference, won't it? But being in a deficit now for Chelsea, sorry, Rosie, it's going to go down to the wire. But I'd rather go down to the wire and have that final fantastic day for that one. I know, Chloe, you ideally wanted them to win at the weekend, so you were there to see it.
It's just because I'm going.
Yeah.
3-3.
It's 3-3.
Emma, what are you doing to us? Oh, what's happening? See, right, okay. More live reporting.
What are you watching it on?
Yeah, Emma, what are you watching on?
I haven't got. Oh, now I've just got the notification.
How can Sky Sports is behind?
Is this what being on Soccer Saturday is like? Do you reckon?
It must be. Yeah, we need all our headsets on now.
Give me the link.
Kind of go for it. Right. So it's gone at the other end. Who have we got? Comes back. Aaron Cuthbert's got it. Beats the defender. Cut back. And it goes through the legs and it comes off. Who's that being given to?
It's Caps Macario.
Has that been given to Macario?
Hmm.
Has that been given to Macario? 3-3, 82 minutes. Amazon Showcase. Am I on? Sky Sports Football. That should still be the same thing though, right? Showcase and football. Right. Let's. What is this? This is like Soccer Saturday. Right. Okay. So Emma and Chloe, you'll get the updates first. So again, shout when something happens. But 7 minutes left of normal time. And it all hangs in the balance. I genuinely don't know now. I think if anyone was going to put Chelsea up to the test, it was going to be Liverpool. So this is brilliant. And to watch it back as well is going to be phenomenal. And other Chloe in the chat is clearly even more behind on us because she's just had the reaction as well. So it's all going off. So thank you for joining us. Sean, you're absolutely right. We are doing live reactions to the Chelsea-Liverpool match. And we quite can't believe it either. So thank you very much for joining us.
The last one's given us an own goal.
Oh, it's been given us an own goal?
Yeah, from Tegan.
Oh, don't take it away from Kat. What's going on?
I know.
Right, so we will keep it. Ideally, I need a phone holder like up here so I can see it at the same time. Right. We might talk about other games tonight. I don't know. Probably not, but we will. But yeah, so overall, Barcelona did win 2-0 on the night and 2-1 on aggregate, which means they now face Lyon in the final. Chloe, you are absolutely right. Chloe in the chat. Sorry, Chloe Bear. Not that one. What the heck is happening? Absolutely. It's gone from, 2-1 to 3-3 in a matter of moments. We will be keeping you up to date, so do stick with us. So Barca-Lyon in the final, I think it's going to be a pretty damn good final. What are we thinking then? If we kind of go around, who do we think's going to win? And do we have any score predictions? So Chloe Bear, what do you think? Barca or Lyon?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because both teams are like so good. I think Barca might clench it though. Score predictions. Oh, I don't know.
Because we've seen Lyon come back from the death, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
it
could be anything.
Anything. I think what I can tell you though is I think it'll be close.
I think it's really close. Yeah, I think maybe a penalty in it to be a decider, possibly. Rosie, what do you reckon? Lyon just to beat Barca?
Yeah. Lyon will win.
Lyon will go. Paul, what do you reckon? Barca, Lyon.
Lyon.
Oh, straight away, no hesitation. Just
no hesitation, Lyon. Because Sonia Bonpastor leaving. It's a battle of the managers in their final ever games.
Yeah.
Because Givaldes is leaving for wherever he's leaving to. I can't remember where Givaldes is going. And Bonpastor is going to Chelsea.
Possibly Washington Spirit, I think. That rings a bell.
Yes. You might be.
So all of these big managers leaving onto new pastures. So that brings another element, does it? And what I was going to ask before, do you think there is far too much pressure on these teams knowing their managers are leaving, that they're then kind of not underperforming, but because everyone's put them on such a high pedestal, that it then seems like they're underperforming. Paul, what do you reckon? Too much pressure?
I think maybe they're having the Jurgen Klopp syndrome in the men's game, where
because we've seen it there too, haven't we?
Everyone's giving it the full farewell tour, and
quadruple.
Maybe there is too much pressure. Yeah, because the amount of glee that certain fan bases have had at Chelsea not winning the quadruple is weird. Like, I kind of get not wanting Chelsea to win, but I don't get the hatred for one of the best managers ever to manage in women's football and leaving. It's like, I haven't seen many in the men's game go, ha ha, Jurgen Klopp's going, ha ha, we might be trophyless, isn't that hilarious? But there seems to be the spite from certain fan bases in the women's game, because it's more personal, and it's like, really? Like, and maybe that's got through to the teams as well.
Yeah, because it's just taking the fun out of it, isn't it? Like, you want your players to turn up, perform, to love it, and do their best, but they can't if they're getting it from every angle, can't they? So fingers crossed, whatever happens, as long as they know they've played their best, and they've tried everything to do it, that's all we want, regardless of what's happening. Speaking of what's happening, I got distracted by a really close free kick. But it's still 3-3. No worries. We're all good. Danny, lovely to have you. Good evening. Yes, we have discussed Chelsea's newest signing on tonight. Again, if anyone missed it, making a debut on Sunday. So everyone tune in for that one against Bristol City. It's the last home game of the season, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. That's going to have so many emotions tied to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be mad. You need to do a full debrief back with us, Rosie, how that goes, because I can imagine how that's gonna go. But we'll move on. We will move on before Rosie gets too upset with that one. So let's talk about the other world of women's football, shall we? So in the week where women's football in the UK surpassed over 1 million spectators for the first time, so thank you everyone who's been to a match, who's watched, who's got involved with the WSL and Championship. Crystal Palace were also crowned champions, and we will be seeing them in the WSL next year. And of course, our very own Rosie signed for Chelsea Women. So it's been action-packed. So let's actually get into it, shall we? So first up, we've got the WSL. Dun, dun, dun. And first up, I mean, again, all the goals went to Man City. I think they've got a monopoly on them, letting the other teams know they can only have only one per team. So let's start off with Everton Arsenal. Now, after all the furore from last week, Chloe, we went, didn't we? With my friend Sarah as well. Phenomenal match. So talk us through it, because we got to a point where we were like, is this happening? Everton playing really well. And it ended 1-1. So Chloe, talk us through it. What happened? Are you proud of your team?
I am. Yes, we did go, and it was a great game. I had a lovely time. I was shocked to see them playing so well, because it got to 80 minutes before the first goal from Arsenal went in, and I was like, do you know what? If this gets to even like 10 minutes, I will be quite proud of them. But the fact it got to 80 before Russo scored was just amazing, and they played incredibly well. And I don't know what's happened, but the past couple of games, they've just been so good. Like, they've been attacking on the ball. They've been communicating with each other. I don't know if that's just more Courtney or anyone else on the pitch.
I was going to say, can we have a shout out for Courtney Brosnan, please? Because if anyone has the best voice on the pitch, then it's just Courtney. We said, didn't we? We wanted to make like motivational speaking recordings so that you can just play it and she'll just shout at you whenever you need it. And I will just interrupt there, because Emma in the chat, Liverpool 4. And it's coming up on a corner now. It is 9 minutes of extra time. It's the 91st minute on this one. Free kick. Corner is being taken right now. and it's headed in. It's beaten Hampton, and it's been given to
Jembon.
Danny, you're absolutely right. All my life. What is happening in here?
Can I just say, I'm loving this. Sorry, Rosie, but I'm loving this because the amount of stick that I got, particularly from a certain fan base, for saying earlier today that Liverpool are 1 or 2 players from a top 3 side, and now they're doing this to Chelsea. I feel vindicated.
And that's the thing. It's people been like, well, at the end of the day, Liverpool have played well this season. Why can't they? Why has it got to be it's Chelsea, therefore Chelsea have to win? Chelsea are brilliant. We know that, but they need to turn up and fight just as everyone else does, don't they? But yeah, so that was that another Gemma Bonner?
Yeah, Gemma Bonner.
4-3. Right, it is the 92nd minute out of 9 extra minutes. Currently 4-3 for anyone just joining us to Liverpool. 4-3 to Liverpool. But who knows? It could end 10-9. I have no idea what's going on in this match. Hopefully it doesn't, because that would really screw the goal difference. So let's see and keep us updated as soon as anyone gets these results. But yes, we're saying about Courtney Brosnan. Fantastic job of ordering that back line, because defensively they were brilliant, weren't they? They're really, really tight.
Yeah, they were so good and so tight. And I mean, I said to you on Sunday that I need Courtney to just send me like loads of just voice notes telling me to do my uni work and get on with it, because I think she has a lot to do with it as well, like the power in her voice, the power she pursues. Like, and I just think Courtney's incredible, and she's been so good not only this season but these last couple of games specifically. I've really enjoyed watching her. And I also thought it was a brilliant atmosphere as well. Like, it was like one hall holds 2,000 people, and there was 1,997 attendance. Like that. That's insane.
Because we said, didn't we, that was the fullest we've ever seen it, and the fact they had to open the extra bits at the back that normally aren't open because of all the rigging and the crew and all the cameras and stuff. They had to then push kind of people round so it wasn't too hectic. So I mean, whether they oversold or not could be a question. But yeah, it begs the question though. Walton Hall Park, to extend that would be phenomenal, wouldn't it? So that fan bases like Arsenal, who do have a phenomenal fan travelling support, by the way, just shout that out as well. You know, they can bring more, but we can have more home fans as well, like, and just amplify that atmosphere, because it was brilliant, wasn't it? But yeah, I think Ryan Sorensen needs to share more of his wages with her, because she was she was keeping them up to date with what was going on. And then of course in extra time, brilliant Izzy Hobson comes on. And tell us about that, Chloe. Izzy Hobson.
Yeah, remember that name, because she is gonna go far. Like 16-year-old, the youngest scorer in the WSL to date, over past Lauren Hemp. She scored the late equaliser. Sarah Homeguard came to take the corner, and she headed it into the goal straight past Manu, and it was like, what? Did that go in? I got it on video, which I'm most proud about.
Yeah.
But it was like, whoa, and
the whole place erupted, like, oh my God, it's gone in.
Literally, the whole place went mental. It was like, did that just happen? Did that just go in? Have we actually got a point against Arsenal?
Because wasn't it for the first time since 2013, I want to say, a point against Arsenal, 2012, 2013, which is a mad stat in itself. So, you know, if anyone's looking for improvement, that's, you know, what big of a sign than that. So yes, so a massive point for Everton, and very, very well deserved, I thought, with that performance. Because just some stats, Arsenal had 17 shots, only 6 were on target. Everton had 11 with 4 on target as well. So Arsenal definitely should have got more, but we're quite glad they didn't in this case. with that one. Perfect. So a lovely point for Everton there. And next one, Aston Villa West Ham. So we're coming to me for this one. So we divided and conquered, we meaning me and Lindsay. So Lindsay went to this one. And she was telling me all about it, as was the fan club. So watching back, it was one of those where, because it was against West Ham and we've seen how Villa season's gone and West Ham season's gone, if both teams showed up and played to their best, then we could see like the late winner that we saw away to West Ham earlier in the season, where it was going to be really tight and really fighting for it. It felt like in the first half, West Ham had the better of the chances. Uweki and Asai had some corkers that, I mean, Sophia Pua is doing a fantastic job. Again, being 17, coming on, you know, she's third choice goalie. But yeah, she had another phenomenal match, keeping it down to 0-0 as long as she did. But actually, you know, Rachel Daly had a header in the first half. That was probably the best chance they had. Just went a bit high of the goal. Kenza Dali had one of her best free kicks she's had this season, I think. And again, so close. Mackenzie Arnold had to be right on her toes to kind of knock that one just wide as well. So there were chances on both sides, but again, there was nothing much in it at all. Now, anyone who's been watching Villa for quite a while, Alicia Lehmann, she was good last season, and this season she's had a moment, but just has been really, really inconsistent. So when she came on in the 75th minute, everyone kind of thought, okay, which Alicia's going to show up? Thankfully, she chose the one that can score. Because in the 75th minute, there was a lovely run by Kirsty Hansen down the left, crossed it in, and she was in the box. Okay, Alicia was in the box. She was in the position that we wanted to be in, and she managed to glance it in, and it was brilliant. So 1-0, and everyone thought, okay, brilliant. Can we keep it? Now, Villa are annoyingly bad at conceding goals straight away. So the fact that they didn't concede until 15 minutes later, I'd class as improvement. But unfortunately, it was still a late equaliser. West Ham did get it. It was a really pathetic equaliser as well. It was really annoying. So there was a really good run, cross into the box. And I think it was Shannon Cook. It was her first senior goal. So well done to Shannon. I can't take that away from you. And she got it in, and Sophia Pua just kind of got in the wrong position, and it just went through her legs and kind of trickled in over the line. And it was like, no, how has this happened? But I tell you what, a point, I'll take a point from that game, because every point counts. But however, it did mean that Bristol City needed a win to kind of keep in the WSL a little bit longer. But unfortunately, as we will see later on in a moment, that didn't quite happen for Bristol. But yeah, so it finished 1-1, Villa West Ham. And again, disappointing to concede, but they did look much brighter in the second half, so I can't complain too much.
Liverpool have won.
Have they officially won?
The game's just ended and it's 4-3 to Liverpool.
Oh, 4-3 to Liverpool. That's got to be gutting, hasn't it, for Chelsea?
I don't want to take too much joy in it, because obviously Rosie and everything. But having said, you know, Liverpool have won 2 players away and got mocked for it. I'm like, the day after I'll turn around and go, this is why I said Liverpool are 1 or 2 players away, because they've beaten Chelsea in a game that Chelsea had to win.
Yeah. And the fact that Liverpool can and have beaten them 4-3 just again shows what a season they've had, what the effort they've put in, how they've managed to work together as a team, and just that they can do this. They can push for 4th. You know, they can keep on pushing up that table, because why not? They've proven they can do it. Just watching the scenes now in Chelsea look heartbroken, bless them, including Emma Hayes. But again, it shows that sometimes the champions do need to get beat. because it gives them that fire to then come back. You can argue they've had, one day off in between Champions League and WSL, and is it too much? Is it overloading? Are they tired? But it's just come up now. Liverpool are 5th now with 31 points. Chelsea, of course, still 2nd, but they do still have a game in hand against Spurs. So there's only 2 points between them and Man City now. Goal difference, Man City are plus 46 now. Chelsea are plus 38. So they're going to need...
2 points. In my head, it's like a 6 point... In my head, it's a 6 point gap. Am I way off?
That's me. I'll start that again. Sky Sports have done a really weird table. Right, hang on. So, Man City, 52 points. Chelsea, 46 points. Goal scored. There we go. Goal scored, 58 compared to 56. But goal difference is still plus 46 and plus 38. So, yeah. So, there is still a 6 point lead now. Man City have. And Chelsea still have the game in hand.
Tell you what, if they win on Sunday, it would be delightful. Like, seeing City win, I'm here. I'm actually at the game, so it'll be perfect for me.
If Man City win for that, then Spurs can hand Man City the title.
Yeah.
Because if Chelsea, don't win.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we're saying, Chelsea don't win, then it's...
If Chelsea don't win, then that's a 6 point gap with 1 game remaining. My maths are correct. Because Chelsea have a game in hand, they're both going to play this weekend. You can safely assume that Chelsea are going to beat Bristol City.
Hey,
so
don't assume. You know what they say.
Imagine relegated Bristol City beat Chelsea, Man City win, then Man City can win the title this weekend now.
How incredible would that be if Bristol could win against Chelsea? I'd be here for it. I would end on a high. That's it. Yes, we're relegated, but we'll beat Chelsea.
No, Emma Hayes' final game at Kings Meadow, Bristol City beat them to take the title from them.
Oh, that would be
incredible
for Bristol City. Awful for Chelsea.
Are we on Team Chaos here? Or are we?
Yes. Hashtag Team Chaos. And yeah, Emma's absolutely right. If Bristol win, I immediately want them not to be relegated anymore. I wonder if that negates the relegation if they beat Chelsea. Can they come back out of it? Oh, that would be a brilliant loophole, wouldn't it? Simon's joined us. Good evening. Watching the Chelsea game. Yeah, so have we been, Simon. It's been like Soccer Saturday on here. They are so crap defensively, that Millie Bright. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Millie's come back all guns blazing after an injury, slide tackles a lot. She's just phenomenal. And it's just showing how much of a miss she's been. Not only for Chelsea, but for England as well.
Yeah, and you can 100% tell the difference in the side without her there.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yeah, just she's brilliant. But yeah, I get obviously managing her minutes and we need to look after her and things like that. But 4-3, ouch,
heavy.
I can't stop watching. They're doing the thing. Sorry, copyright. But where they follow the players around, and it's just like, just leave them alone a little bit. They're just, they're heartbroken, bless them. But you would be if you've fought that far and you've kept coming back and you just can't get that final equaliser. And bless them sounds really insincere, and I do apologise to them. But yeah, it must be heartbroken, breaking. I'll get my tenses right. Heartbreaking. There we go. So next up, talking about Spurs. Actually, it was Spurs 1, Brighton 1. Now, this one was Rosie, but we've lost her for a little bit. But I've got some notes. Don't worry. Did anyone else watch this one? Spurs, Brighton?
It was an interesting one because
It was, yes.
It seemed very end of season. Like, but two teams who
Yeah.
had nothing really to play for and just kind of played it out. And then you had a moment of quality for the Spurs goal.
Yeah.
But it was a bit disappointing, really. It was an end of season. Let's get this out of the way. Spurs have their eyes on the cup final, don't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it was a good point. I mean, everyone will take a point, but I think for Brighton as well, I think that point really helped them. And I've put in my notes, there's a Spurs mix-up at the back really early on, and they look quite shaky, to be honest. And Brighton really capitalised on that, so they could have that opening goal. Because Becky Spencer, if people didn't watch her, she spilled the ball. So Brighton were able to get it on the rebound. But Ashley never came on half time, just after half time for Spurs, and she set up Beth England for their lovely cross, like Paul said. And Spurs seemed to really step it up in the second half, but it took them a long time to get it going, didn't it? And they almost got the winner. But honestly, Brighton had the momentum, so I genuinely thought they might have took something after the early lead. But yeah, ended 1-1. That was pretty fair. It was pretty standard, like you said, nothing much in it. So yeah, 1-1. Not too much to report, really. Sean's just said, Man City versus Arsenal this weekend with a Premier League referee in charge, Rebecca Welsh. So that'll be bonkers. Rebecca Welsh is from the Northeast. Woohoo! My mum, here you go, there's my clip film. My mum's work colleague is also part of the Referees Association and knows her. So there we go. Like a fifth. What is wrong with my brain tonight? Dear me.
Fifth degree of separation.
That's the one. Yeah, I was going link, chain, something. Degree of separation. Paul Keeper's right. There we go. So Rebecca Welsh. I've got a lot of time for Rebecca Welsh, actually. I think she's really good. Rate her very highly with that one. So yeah, so that was Spurs 1, Brighton 1. Not much to report. Next up, we've got Leicester 0, Man United 1. Paul, was this one you?
It was. I think it's just the mischievousness of see how much we can get Paul to rant about Mark Skinner, isn't it?
Well, I didn't have any of his post-match today. I haven't got any quotes for you. But I will say this. You can tell Janina Leitzig is back with some phenomenal saves. Really happy she's back and fighting fit. And it took a bit of Toonie magic, didn't it?
It really did. Like, it's a cracking goal.
It was, yeah. Because did you say, interestingly, on the Women's Football Show, they interviewed Ella Toone rather than Mark Skinner, which I thought was strange. But she said she's been practicing that in training. And I thought, you know what? If nothing else is working game plan wise, why not go for it? And it paid off, didn't it? With that.
I mean, I'm a big fan of sod it, of it works in training, go for it, because 2 years ago today, see, you knew I was going to get this in at some point. 2 years ago today, the greatest sod it, I'm just hitting it ever happened. Coventry United's Great Escape, 2-year anniversary, 90+7, Molly Green from 35 yards, me crying on air, all of that. But there's the thing that I found interesting. The game was the game. Man United won 1-0 and they outshot Leicester. And Janina Leitzig was superb, as you've said, and Leicester. But the fact that, and I saw Man United fans saying this on Twitter afterwards, they were very much saying that no disrespect to Leicester, but a Man United team should not be struggling against Leicester City, particularly a Leicester City team who have their own turmoil and issues and had several key players missing. And, the game was the game, but it was all the focus was on things like the players' body language and on things like the interactions with the manager. There was an interesting bit. I think it was an injury. It was either an injury timeout or it was definitely a timeout.
Yeah.
And the Leicester players straight over, you have your tactical meeting by the Leicester bench. Man United players didn't go near their dugout. Like,
Yeah.
almost
We've seen that quite a
actively
lot, though, haven't we? Throughout the season, they've just not gone over and they've gone, right, we're sorting it out ourselves. We need to do something about it.
It's got big, and I'm going to make an obscure 90s film reference now, which it's got big Varsity Blues vibes. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that, but there's a bit in that. It's an American football team and, high school and all sorts of stuff. But the big climactic bit at the end is the team fall out with the coach because the coach is an arsehole, basically.
Okay.
And just actively leave the coach in the changing room. And it makes a big thing of them ignoring the coach and saying, right, we're doing this ourselves. And I get the same vibes from Man United. Like, he's there and they listen to him up to a point, but as soon as they walk over that white line for the game, it's like, right, okay, we'll do this ourselves, and whatever happens.
I'm just as you're talking, I agree with all that. They, they're fighting for themselves essentially, but I'm looking through all their socials and I can't find anything from Mark Skinner. Was he definitely there?
Yeah.
On that match. Yeah, there's no nothing from him. That's really bizarre. Okay. But yeah, so 1-0. So I remember, where was I? Yeah, we're at the match, of course we were. And I remember refreshing all the scores and being like, 1-0, really? Because I thought Leicester might have done a bit more, to be fair, with that one. But yeah, it was a strange one because I genuinely thought Leicester could have taken something from that. Or at least got a point with that one. So yeah, sad for Leicester. They couldn't get anything more with it. But yeah, three points for United. Go on then.
And again, Leicester are safe, so
they're safe.
They're not fighting for their lives.
No, it's consolidating that, isn't it? And just making sure that they're ending the season as well as they can, and then going into next season again with a good in good stead. There we go. And I believe, Paul, actually, we're coming back to you again, aren't we? For our final one, Man City 4, Bristol City 0. Now, I will say this about Bristol. It took until 62nd minute for City to score. And I just want to shout out Bristol, their togetherness, their teamwork, their defence with everything. Because if you're keeping City out for 62 minutes, you're doing something very, very well, aren't you? So tell us about the match, Paul. 4-0.
I mean, like you say, you highlight Bristol City's game plan, and it was a very clear one, and it was be compact, be narrow, and force Man City to play through. Basically jam up the middle. And what was really interesting, it got cited a lot on commentary, was that Man City didn't really use the wings. Like they didn't really actively try and play wide and get the crosses into the box. And the reason for that was because they had nobody to get on the end of them.
Yeah.
Because they had nobody short. Like, there were at least 3 chances in the first half that fell to, one to Lauren Hemp with a header, one to Mary Fowler, who we'll talk more about in a bit, but, bless her, she's not the greatest aerial striker in the world.
No.
And the kind of thing you just look at and go, if Bunny Shaw's on the end of that, that's it. And it's 5 or 6.
It's in. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just literally foregone conclusion. She's leaping for that, and it's in. And so, in that sense, it was incredibly obvious where Man City missed Bunny Shaw, and it's that aerial threat, that predator in the box who you can just pump the ball into, and she will get on the end of it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, she will be first to the ball. She will have her head on it, and she will get it in the back of the net. Yeah, absolutely. But once they did start scoring, and it was Mary Fowler who started it, they didn't stop, did they? 4 of them went in past Lionesses into the Bristol goal. So yeah, Mary Fowler got a brace, I believe, didn't she?
She did. The first one was a belter. Like, another one of I'm just bloody hitting it. Like she receives the ball 40 yards out, cut inside, onto her stronger foot, and you almost saw her look up, see a bit of a gap, and go, "Screw it, bang!" And it absolutely flew into the top corner. Lionesses had absolutely no chance, and that seemed to break Bristol City's resolve almost.
Yeah.
Then you saw a relegated team basically, because you saw oh Christ, here we go, we've let Man City score. Now we're into it. And conversely, Man City went, right, okay, we've got the one. Now let's kill them off.
Yeah, let's keep going.
And that was that. Mary Fowler getting a second. And an own goal as well, which was really unfortunate. But it was your classic own goal. It's the kind of thing that critics of women's football would love to post and go, ha ha, look at this. But it was a ball across the box, and it's the kind of thing where the defender's like, I've got to do something here, because if I let this run and there's someone behind me, they're tapping this in. And so I think it was Megan Connolly just stuck her leg out and diverted it past Lionesses.
Yeah.
And that was that.
And it's all well and good in hindsight saying, oh, why didn't she just leave it? But you're absolutely right. She was quite far forward, wasn't she? So if someone was behind, it was going to go in. So it was either leave it for the tap in or try and do something and hopefully divert it away from danger.
Put it this way, if that happens in the men's game 9 times out of 10, you get far more, the same people who will mock that are far more sympathetic and, what would say exactly what we said.
Yeah.
And then just the last minute, 4th goal, finished things off. But the thing, and Bristol City went down fighting, but they went down inevitably. But they went down in front of 9,000 people. The crowds that Bristol City are getting, they haven't won at home all season, and 9,000 people are turning up. And nobody's mentioning this because, people are kind of mentioning it, but all the focus is on, oh, look at these big showpiece games. But it's the people like Bristol City that are the teams that you really want to watch, the ones who are still getting games like that. The other teams growing, Everton packing out Walton Hall Park. That's what we want to see. That's the bit that we praise. Yeah,
and they've confirmed next season as well they're still going to be there, aren't they? In the Championship, still playing their games there, which is phenomenal. And they've also said Lauren Smith, her job's not on the line. They said she's doing a fantastic job, and she has with the limited resources she's got, hasn't she?
Well, it's interesting. Some Bristol City fans I know were when I posted that, well done Bristol City, it's great. I got some gently critical replies from some Bristol City fans I know who pointed out, it's all very well, people are turning up, but the team have been let down because the investment wasn't put in for Lauren Smith in January. So they were almost set up to fail, and it's being hidden behind all this great PR with crowds and stuff. So apparently it's the Bristol City Women Fan Forum tonight, actually. So I'd imagine there will be a few tough questions asked about where Bristol City go from here, because it's getting harder and harder to come out of the Championship. There's no guarantee whatsoever that they'll come out of the Championship next season.
No.
And then you wonder what happens with those crowds of 9,000 if they're not doing quite so well at the second tier. And then you wonder what happens if the gap with Nuco grows. So whilst we try and be as positive about Bristol City as possible, I think some of the long-standing fans there are unsettled, and it'll be interesting to see what happens over the summer there.
Absolutely, because all you want for your team is for, the higher ups to go, right, we're going to invest, we're going to do all the right things, we want our team to grow, not just exist. And hopefully, the with all of the fan forums, like you said, and kind of all the feedback, that hopefully someone listens, and they do. They put the money in, and we see a real push next season. Because last season, Bristol were far and away the best team in the Championship, which is why they won and they've been in the WSL. But we've seen what such a good Championship side can do in the WSL, and it's still not enough without that back end. So fingers crossed. We'll talk about Crystal Palace very, very soon. But hopefully they get that investment and they keep moving and keep pushing, because they've got some superstars in that team. And hopefully they stay where they belong. So let's have a look at the table, shall we? So we've got to do some maths, because Chelsea and Liverpool have played tonight. So Liverpool are now on 35. Well, that doesn't make sense.
It does. 20 games, 35. They're level with Man United, so it's a question of goal difference.
I think that's what I'm thinking of, the goal difference as well. I do trust this one, but we will just double check with the updated ones. Yeah, so we've got Man City on 52, Chelsea still on 46, because they lost to Liverpool earlier, if you missed it. Arsenal on 44, and Man United and Liverpool both on 35 points. Maths does work, but Man United are considerably ahead on goal difference. So yes, so that's the difference there. And Bristol, unfortunately, still trailing at the bottom with 6 points. So it does look like their season, well, it is over, isn't it, with that one? West Ham pulling back after their January signings with 14. And again, that fight for the best of the middle that we always talk about. We've got 70, Leicester on 17, Everton on 19, Brighton on 19, Villa on 21, and then jumps up again to Spurs on 27 points. So yeah, so we've got the middle and the top. They're all to play for in the WSL. However, let's move to the Championship, shall we? Where all the drama is going on. Now, I really wanted this to be down to the final day, live action fight for the title. But it was kind of Crystal Palace's to lose, really. But we will come on to that very, very shortly. But it was the last day in the Championship. And we did find our new crowned champions, which, like I said, were Crystal Palace. So I think, where should we go first? So it was Charlton 2, Southampton 0. So for this one, Chloe, hello. Charlton 2, Southampton 0. Now, Tegan McGowan. What a player. Got both of them. Tell us all about it. Was it a convincing win, this one?
It was. And can I just say before we begin, this Championship this season has been so good.
Yes. Yes, it has.
I mean, no one here could call it that Crystal Palace would win. We all said so many different answers, thought so many different things. It was a proper
it'd be nice to go back to our predictions again, wouldn't it? And say, we'll have to do it when everything's over and go back and be like, right, who called it? Who got it?
You couldn't even tell who'd be relegated either. It was brilliant. Just that whole, it was just so good. But yeah, from the little interlude, back to Charlton Southampton. It was a very convincing Charlton win with Tegan McGowan getting the brace. The first goal was within 3 minutes, which is always pretty impressive when you score early in it for a team. But yeah she fired it straight into the net, and it was just it was a really nice goal.
It was brilliant. Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed it. It was just a really good game, and Charlton were just so dominant against the Southampton side. She made it 2 within the hour mark, taking it past 2 defenders before just slotting it into the near post, and even that was really nice. It was it's just a good game. Charlton they've kind of been an up and down side this season, Charlton, but they conveyed a convincing win on the final day.
They did, and for ages as well. They, you know, both of them were two of the contenders to possibly win, weren't they? It was between 5-6 teams at one point. So the fact that Charlton still held that winning mentality right till the end, knowing that actually they could possibly finish level on points with Crystal Palace, but it would have been, again, that goal difference. We all know how many goals Palace have scored this season. So they were always going to win on that one. But yeah, for Charlton to get 2-0 on that final day would have just been a brilliant ending for them. Perfect. With that one. And the next one, we'll talk about Crystal Palace last, actually, which means, Chloe, are we going back to you for Durham Birmingham?
You are.
Yeah, perfect. Durham 1, Birmingham 0. And can we just say, first time Durham have won this year. Yay! And on the final day of the championship. Well done, Durham. So tell us all about this one, Chloe.
And what a day to do it. And also, how have we actually never discussed that they play at Maiden Castle?
Yeah.
How have we never discussed that is their ground name? Like, why has that never become a topic of conversation? That's a brilliant name for ground when you go in stuff to Maiden Castle to play a game of football. It's great.
You want to go over a drawbridge, don't you? It's like going on a horse.
Yeah, it's giving going through someone's house to get through to Luton's ground. Not same but different. That would be amazing if you had to go through like a drawbridge, then it's just a pitch. Oh,
with some knights circling around the outside.
It's a beautiful ground, actually. Durham is. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Properly by the River Wear, properly like wooded and hills around it, and all sorts of stuff.
Banquets and jousting of the evening. It's great. It's everyone should go there next season.
Security and like police are all dressed as knights. They're not in the high vis, they're just in. No,
high vis cloak.
But no, they made 2 changes from last week, and they finally won. And how nice for them on the final day. It was, to be fair, that was also a good game. I have quite enjoyed watching them this season because let's be real, they've not exactly been pining for that top spot. No, bless them. They've had a good run, and yeah, it is really good for them to see it win on the final day. 10 minutes in the second half, they won a corner and swung it into the net. And it was a brilliant header by Wilson. Got the goal. And I mean, Durham have struggled. It was a game where it could have gone to Birmingham as well, because I feel like Birmingham also had that fight in them because you all want to win on the final day. They all had that fire, passion, but yeah, luckily Durham finally got a win at the Castle.
They win at the Castle. They raised the flag on the flagpole, and then it went their way. And they cheers with mead at the end. It was wonderful. I will say though, Durham, I think I'm right in saying this. Durham are the only team that still play on AstroTurf. I believe, with that right.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Do we think that's going to change, or do you think they're quite happy playing on their AstroTurf?
I hope it. I mean, I think it should change because AstroTurf kind of hurts when you've got to like.
That's the interesting thing. Like for injury perspective, it's not great. But hey, maybe next season, maybe they'll have a complete change. This is going to be another really random movie reference. But does anyone remember that film? And I can't remember the name of the actor, but he essentially goes to a medieval theme park. And he falls in the moat and he wakes up and he's gone back in times like the 1600s. And he's a knight. Why does no one else know this? Right. I need to go and decide what that is. I think if Paul wasn't frozen, he might back me up on this, but I need proof. I need proof of that next one for that. I will.
Sorry, I did hear all that, and I do remember it. And I think it was Kevin Kline who was in it, like genuinely.
Right.
I want to say it was something like King Gary or something. I don't know why that sounds familiar.
Medieval.
I mean, you've lost me, so
It's because you're young, Chloe. You don't understand.
Ooh.
Black Knight. Black Knight. That's what it's called. Right. Sorry, everyone. This is a football podcast, I promise. So the synopsis is: one day, Jamal, who works at an amusement park, that's it, falls into a moat and loses consciousness. He wakes up and finds himself in 14th century England and is mistaken for a messenger from Normandy. Okay. I mean, why would it? 2001. 2001.
Wow.
And it
I'm
looks
going to
like
sound.
Black Knight.
No.
It's wonderful.
I'm going to
Right.
sound even more pretentious now, though.
Go on then.
This is the most pretentious thing I'll ever say on a podcast, right?
Wonderful.
Because one of the few things I was actually good at school was languages, because I can speak fluent French and German, and I've lived over there. One of my favourite films is actually a French film that does that, but it has a knight coming the other way, and it's called The Visitors. I think the English translation is called The Visitors.
That came up
there
when
you
I
go.
searched for it. Yeah.
It's got Jean Reno in it, who most people will know from Leon, which is another fantastic film.
Yeah.
But he's a comedic French actor, and it's very funny. If you like foreign films, you're pretentious like I am. You know, foreign football, foreign films, everything.
Again, I'm just reading the synopsis. It's just a bit worrying. After being drugged by a witch, a knight kills the father of his lover, believing him to be a bear. Therefore, he has a wizard to send him back in time before the murder, but is sent to the future.
I never said French films were logical.
Neither are Spanish ones. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, so if anyone's struggling with things to watch tonight, two very good time travel medieval night films would be recommended on this women's football podcast. Thank you all for watching.
That must be a sentence that's never been said before on a football podcast.
We'll get it clipped up. We'll put it in the trailer for the show. Just like, hey, come and join us. Might talk about football. Might talk about medieval knights. Who knows? Keep watching.
And it's live.
And it's live. And everything can and will go wrong. Oh, God. Right. So that was Durham 1. Well done, Durham. Birmingham 0. Now, the next one, London City 3, Lewis 2. I don't know why they're both in red. London City should be green. That's fine. But, I mean, London City, Paul, under Remy Allen, have done a phenomenal job. I think she said they wanted 12 points out of a possible 18, and they've done it. They've got it. And she announced her retirement from football officially today, which, you know, she's been such a credit to the game for everything that she's done. She's so inspirational. So thank you, Remy, for everything that you've done. But yeah, Paul, talk us through this one. 3-2. Did you see it? Did you see it going London City's way? Or was it?
Realistically, yes, because sadly for Lewis, it was a microcosm of their season in that they were really, really good. They got themselves into a good position and just kept being pegged back. But I'll tell you what, in terms of Championship and development players, Amy Claypole, on loan from Chelsea for Lewis, she's a player.
Yeah,
she is some player. She got the first goal for Lewis. It was then New Zealand international Jackie Hand, who I think I may be right. I may be wrong. Got the assist for New Zealand for the opening goal of the Women's World Cup.
Oh, that rings a bell.
I think Jackie Hand put the cross in. And then she joined Lewis in January and scored the second. Emma McCandy scoring for London City as well.
What a lovely bit of skill that was, by the way. I think everyone needs to kind of look at Emma McCandy, Danielle Carter, and just not write anyone off on that team and know how much skill and talent is actually in that London City team.
Emma McCandy's a frustrated striker, isn't she? like no question.
Yeah.
She's a centre back, but she doesn't want to play centre back. Like she plays centre back because she has to play centre back. She's like the striker who got forced to play centre back because everybody wanted to play striker and she was the tall kid at school or something. So she got forced to play centre back, but she's still a striker at heart. Like, just some of the stuff she pulls off is ridiculous.
She's brilliant.
Danielle Carter as well. Anyone who's watched women's football for a while will know her quality, obviously, playing for Brighton, playing for Arsenal. It'll be my main question now, I suppose, with that, because, again, like you said, the job Remy Allen's done, I would love to see what she'd do with a full season with London City.
Me too.
Particularly with the budget of the owners and an off-season and the contacts that she will have in the game from playing. It's going to be a very interesting summer for London City because they've massively underachieved this season, given what was expected of that squad and the players they brought in.
They finished second last season, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they did. Like, they were fighting for promotion,
This season was just a weird one of upheaval with the new owners coming in and then signing an Italian legend in Carolina Marecci as manager, and then they kind of just disappear. We had Sprinklergate against Arsenal, and
Don Rusa,
and it's Remy Allen's just stabilised it because, like you say, Remy Allen is just down to earth. She's a good, honest professional,
hardworking, your
classic English footballer of, I'm going to come in, I'm going to work bloody hard, and I expect everybody else to work bloody hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's set the standard there, and it'll be interesting. Hopefully, she'll be given the chance to progress next season with it, because London City were in real trouble when she came in. Lewis, I feel we talked last week about their relegation, but Lewis I fear for now, genuinely, because Tier 3 South is going to be very, very difficult to get out of next season with Watford going into it as well.
Well, that's the thing, they're both going into it, aren't they?
Yeah, and Tier 3, speaking from experience with seeing my former club drop down there, is basically a bit of a wasteland. Everything's forgotten unless you're Newcastle and you have oil money and a PR machine. Then you're okay. Portsmouth, though, coming up, Portsmouth will be interesting. I think Newcastle will get a shock next season because Tier 2 ain't Tier 3.
No.
But I think it's worse going down than going up, because going up you can always get better.
Yeah.
But because you put in more resources, but going down, you lose resources. You're recruiting from a smaller pool. And
you kind of adjust your playing style to the level, don't you? Almost like if you're not pushed week in, week out, then it's almost.
And Lewis had needed a new manager because it was announced Scott Booth is leaving, which was unsurprising, because he probably has far higher ambitions than Tier 3. And I just I don't want to worry, but now I saw something the other day. The WSL next season, it's the first time it will be all Premier League men's club back teams.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah. So fingers crossed. Do you reckon even just knowing that we'll see that difference? Do you reckon?
Possibly. I hope that it doesn't mean that money ruins the game, and I think that And this is something that we were going to put in the any other business, but we can drop it in here.
Yeah.
Men's Premier League have recently announced that their clubs have ratified basically a spending cap, and apparently the spending cap is considered to be. There's talk of it considered to be the income or the TV money of the lowest team, the broadcast income of the lowest team. So, this is the point where I now think the first thing Newco need to do is put a wage cap, squad wage cap in. This probably won't go down well with people watching, but I think for the sustainability of the game and to avoid the situation next season of Crystal Palace just going straight back down and not even being given a chance to compete, as we've seen with Bristol City, we need squad wage caps. So
they need to change something, don't they? Because if it goes unchecked, we've seen the Chelseas, the Arsenals, etc. Of course they can buy in who they want. Even in the NWSL, the silly money compared to what we're used to. And if they can spend it, they will, won't they? To get the players they want. So we need it to be fairer. We need something to come in. We need something to happen. It's just in what form, whether it's something like a wage cap, or even a spending per window cap, or just, and I don't know, something to kind of bring it back to make it more feasible for those teams that don't have, the Chelsea money.
And bringing it back to the Championship and London City, obviously owned by a billionaire. I wouldn't be, without a spending cap, they can potentially just buy their way out of the Championship next season. Newcastle will, you can bet, have, Sportswash FC with their nation state money will be trying to buy their way out of the Championship as quickly as possible. I worry that means the Championship isn't going to be anywhere near as exciting next season as it is this season, because you've got Newcastle with all their money, you've got Portsmouth potentially who are a big club on the South Coast, you've got Southampton.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, there's some derbies in the Championship next season. 3 Northeast derbies. There's also the South Coast derby, which is tasty.
Yeah. It's really good. The Sunderland Newcastle one is going to be phenomenal. I need to make sure I've got no plans that weekend and I can go up and I can really get involved in it. Because obviously with the men's, we had it, not too long ago, but since before that, it was years before there was a proper
surely both clubs have to put that in their men's stadium. Surely Sunderland has to put that the Stadium of Light, because you can bet Newcastle are going to put it at St James's.
Probably, yeah. But with the Stadium of Light, I think the last time they did it, and Ant will correct us on this, but I think the last time they did it was like a double header, and it just really didn't work. It really flopped. But would they rather have it at Eppleton and sell it out and have that atmosphere rather than half of the Stadium of Light? I don't know. But that'll be an interesting question and conversation to have with that one. But yeah, I'm excited. I think if it stays talent based, then I think it's going to be a really good one. But yeah, if it's as if money gets in the way, isn't it? And kind of ruins it and takes that the fun and the enjoyment out of it. That I'm not here for. So fingers crossed we can go for it. Fingers crossed we can go for. Oh, I was doing so well.
Fingers crossed it can keep the momentum of this season.
Hey, there we go. Yes, Paul, that's why we're having her on the podcast. Yes. Perfect. Right. We've got a couple more games to go. Now, unfortunately, Rosie have to leave us. Apologies, I didn't mention that earlier. So next, let's do Sheffield United 1, Blackburn 3. Now, for this one, I will say they did a lovely emotional tribute for Maddie Cusack. I don't know if anyone else watched the match or watched the highlights, but it was at the 8th minute of the game, and they had her jersey, and it was a really lovely way to kind of end the season and make sure everyone remembered that Maddie was there and will never be forgotten. So that was a really, really lovely touch, that one. And minutes later, Molly Graham opened the scoring with a lovely header. So yes, that was in the 17th minute. And you think, okay, it's 1-0. Will they win on the last day? Will they really see it out with a bang and really, really make the most of it and get the 3 points? But unfortunately, Blackburn, as we've seen this season, they can be very hit and miss. But they turned up. They switched on. And Blackburn's corner was in the right place to equalise from a header. Fran Stenson just couldn't get there. So that was in the back of the net for the equaliser. Now, Blackburn took the lead. Thomas ran onto the ball. It was a brilliant run. And just a complete change of pace with that one. So they took the lead 2-1. We then saw, it was a set piece, actually. It was a really nice free kick. Hannah Silcock then made it 3-1. And it would have been perfect, like I said, for Sheffield to come back and maybe get an equaliser, maybe even win it when it was 2-1. They could have maybe come back. But Blackburn, they turned up. They did really, really well. But they just couldn't make the most of their chances with that one. It was fairly even possession. But Blackburn took the chances when it came to them and made the most of it. So a really good 3 points there for Blackburn. They showed up for that one. Now, next, Watford 3, Reading 2. Now, Watford, I will say this, Carly Johns, I really hope the Championship team pick her up next season at least, because she's been phenomenal for Watford this season. And she, let's get my notes, hang on. She got the opener, 8th minute. No, I've completely made that up. 8th this season, her 8th goal of the season. A really great asset. And like I said, I really hope she does stay up in the Championship. So if any Championship teams are looking for another striker, someone who does deliver, Carly Johns, get her signed, get her up. I don't know what her contract's up. I don't know what it's like, but I really would like her to stay. Did anyone else watch Watford and Reading for this one? Because I feel like I'm just talking a lot.
I feel sad for Watford because I think if things had been slightly different, if Michelle Aguimang hadn't suffered a little while out injured, she's a talent for Arsenal, by the way, next season. Watch out for her, Michelle Aguimang.
Should be going back to Arsenal. I think that's what a contract was, wasn't it? Was it just for the season?
It was a season loan. So. Yeah. If Jonas Eidevall has any sense, if he's serious about bringing through young players, Michelle Aguimang is the next one, because she is frighteningly quick.
Yeah, her pace, her strength, absolutely.
Absolute racing snake of a player, and just her, Carly Johns. There are players for Watford who deserve to be playing at a higher level.
Yeah.
And I think if Reading hadn't had a bit of luck with results from Lewis and early on in the season, I think they'd have gone down. And I think they're very lucky to stay in the division.
Well, that's the thing, because we all said at one point, didn't we? Like, oh, it's a one-way journey for Reading, the way they're going. But they've managed to hang on in there, haven't they? But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think. And with this match as well, so kind of going back to the score. So where were we? Watford were 3-1 up. Okay. Haynes had an absolute stunner for that third goal, and I really thought it was going to stay 3-1. But Madison Perry for Reading, again, someone to kind of look out for. She got a brace. She got the second one in the dying minutes, and there was a really lovely kind of competitive fight to Reading that I think has been missing for quite a lot of the season. So the fact that they battled back, it was really good to see. So the fact that they've got that in them, they can access it. Because Chloe, what do you reckon? Kind of all these Championship teams, especially with how close it's been this year, do you reckon teams like Reading have kind of maybe let themselves down a bit because that fight was kind of lost for a little bit and they kind of need to keep hold of it? What do you reckon for the future of these teams?
Yeah, I was really shocked actually that Reading played like as bad as they were almost. Like considering last year they were a WSL team and now, well, not last year, last season they were a WSL team and now this year they just seemed to have lost it. Like, and I don't know what it was, whether it was relegation, whether they lost players, whether they just lost fight, momentum, or that thing, but they just really weren't the same team that we watched in the WSL last season. And it's like you said, like, I don't know what happened to the team. They just seem to lose something and they need to get it back because Reading aren't actually a bad side.
Yeah, because when they've got their fight about them, they can show up and they can really move. And again, we know we've got things going on with the club and behind the scenes, and it kind of all went to pot at one point. So you couldn't blame them really for kind of having that bit of chaos. But yeah, so the fact that they've been able to secure championship for next season, and the fact they've got a bit of fight back, fingers crossed, I'm quite looking forward to see what Reading, can they start to bounce back? Can they start to grow again? Because Freya Gregory, who was on loan from Villa, they were actually doing a montage of all the best goals and best moments. And one of Freya Gregory's goals was on there and she was doing really well for Reading. But she's come back to Villa from loan. Again, we don't know if that was a money thing or what. But she's barely played. And you just think, if your loanee is doing well, just kind of leave them. And, maybe that had an impact on Reading, after she left goal-wise. So yeah, there's lots of moving parts, isn't there, to do with this. But yeah, just let's hope Reading can now bounce back and they're going to level themselves out, get themselves sorted and bring that fight back that we know they have. A lovely Sam is in the chat. Hello. With the best women's football podcast in the world. Thank you very much, Sam. I don't know if you missed it. We're talking about medieval knights as well, just to jazz it up a bit for the viewing audience. Claire as well. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Missed a lot. We've talked about all sorts tonight. And brilliant. Stockport County ladies have just won the final of the Cheshire Senior Cup, 9-0. Now, that is phenomenal. Clearly, Man City do not have the monopoly on their goals in that final there. Fantastic. So let's get back to a couple more. I think it's only one more then. Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0. Now, for this one, I know a lot. So Ant and Charlotte and the ones from the How Are the Lasses podcast, lots of travelling fans went down. And there was a really nice gesture by Sunderland women. They put little signed photo cards on the seats for the away fans. And they all had like a little message on the back, which I thought was really nice to kind of appreciate.
On the coach or in Selhurst Park?
On the actual seats in the stadium in Selhurst Park, yeah. I'll have to.
Oh, that's amazing.
It really, really was.
That's a really impressive bit of work.
Let me see if I can get it. But yeah, so kind of going into it, it was kind of already. There we go. Yeah. That's the camera. They're on the seats like that.
That's so cute.
That's a proper.
And then they were all kind of signed with the players and stuff. So yeah, that was a proper lovely little touch from Sunderland women. So thank you to whoever did that. That was brilliant. But yeah, kind of going into it, Crystal Palace, it looked like they were going to win. We kind of all accepted it. But regardless, for Sunderland, it's been a fantastic season. And they need to be proud of everything that they've done. And, in this match in particular, writing down my notes, nothing was going to dampen that day for Crystal Palace. And I think actually still picking up a point from them was a really, really good result, considering how many goals Palace have scored this season. So to keep it at 0-0, to not concede, to not, lose on the final day, I thought Sunderland did really, really well and should have been really proud of themselves. Now, the first half, Palace dominated more, and overall they did. But I thought in the second half and towards the end of the first, Sunderland picked up that momentum. They got into the game. They started a bit slowly, but they started to have the best chances of the match. And it looked at one point, there was a bit of a scramble and there was a bit of a clearance. Sunderland could have taken the lead. And then so could Palace. So it really was a really fairly match game. And both sides had chances. Now, like I said, Palace have scored 55 goals this season. So to have it end 0-0 was fair. Looking back at the match, but the fact that, and let's just go back to the table, how it finished. Crystal Palace are champions with 46 points. Charlton on 45. That's how close it was at the end of the season. Okay, there was 1 point in it. Sunderland finished third on 41 points. And to anyone who didn't know, last season they finished in 11th place. Okay, so this season they would have been relegated. They would have been gone. Okay, so it was just one team that went down last season. But this season, because it's two, Sunderland would have had a different story if that had been implemented a season earlier. So the fact they've gone from 11th to 3rd in a season just shows, the coaching, the staff, the team. And I know when Ant's been on before, he's talked about that winning mentality and what Sunderland women mean, and kind of what they're trying to build and what their plan is. So I'm happy with that, to be fair. A draw on the last day, a good point to pick up. And the fact that this season, you can't, like I said, you can't put a dampener on it because it's gone so well. And it puts Sunderland in a really good position for next season to go, right, we've got third. We know how good we are. We need to push, but now we need to push for new signings. Where are our gaps? What do we need to do? And that goes for all of those teams, doesn't it? And to think, right, okay, if the championship was this competitive this season, how competitive is it going to be next season? So do we think now, we know the championship is the best league. It's fine. Chloe, what do you reckon? Do you think we're going to get more players interested in the championship now? Do you feel like there's like a bigger buzz around it? Will more players want to come to the championship?
I hope so. I mean, if next season anything like we've seen this season, then 100%, because it was so close. It was so entertaining. And there's top quality players in the championship. Like, who doesn't want to be a top quality player? It's slightly more difficult to get into the championship than it would be, say, like a low league level. There's no denying that. But like, I feel as though there's certain like low league players who fully deserve to be in the championship. And again, like we've been discussing practically the entire course of the season, the championship is where it's at. Like, it's been like, especially this season where it's been so close. It's been, you don't know who's going where, who's doing what. There's been shocks, there's been triumphs, there's been absolutely anything you could have ever wanted within the championship this season. Why it's a league that everyone wants to play in, like, why wouldn't you? And I do hope we get more of that young, raw, fresh talent in it.
Yeah, because there's the opportunity there for them to play, isn't it? And to get that rotation and to get that experience. And we've seen how many, academy products from the WSL that have gone to the championship this season. We keep talking about them and how much they've been able to perform that they wouldn't have been able to do just sat on the bench at their WSL parent club. Paul, do you agree? Do you reckon the championship, there's more of a buzz about it now that hopefully, we're talking about it, other people are talking about it? Got high hopes for next season?
I have, but I'm prepared to be disappointed. Not by the league itself, but by focus on the WSL. But Palace going up, I am so sorry because Sunderland obviously, but Palace going up, I'm so happy about, because talking about players getting more spotlight, players like Elise Hughes, players like Annabelle Blanchard.
Yep.
People are going to suddenly. I guarantee next season you'll have certain other podcasts running around going, oh, players who are really good. Annabelle Blanchard, Elise Hughes, and it's like, well, yeah, anybody who had actually watched them below
we've been talking about them. Yeah,
we've said that will happen with players like Grace Clinton, because it's happened this season. Mia Enderby, it's happened this season.
Mia Enderby tonight, just as a shout out, was phenomenal, by the way. So yeah, absolutely another name that needs to be a household name. Yeah.
And I think hopefully, like you say, that's what will attract players to the Championship. The fact that, you know, this year, even more so than last year, we've seen players like Izzy Goodwin, Mary McAteer, Amy Claypole, Katie Watson. If Amy Claypole, Katie Kitching as well. I know we mentioned all the Sunderland players, but
all the Sunderland team, yeah.
Also, but players like we need to do our WSL and Championship 11, so I can basically spend an hour going, look at this amazing player and this amazing player, and just run. Like, genuinely, because
could we just do 111 though? I don't think we could narrow it down to to 11. We could definitely do over the summer though. We can do a ones to watch, and then we can have a look. We were talking about them. Look at their talent, kind of thing. But yeah, we definitely do that.
For Charlton, you mentioned Tegan McGowan. Tegan McGowan was is she a Chelsea loanee? I think she's a Chelsea loanee. She's going to be, or possibly Arsenal. She's definitely one of the big teams. She's going to be an incredible player. For Charlton. And just like you keep saying, for sheer level of talent, I'm really hopeful. But I'm not hopeful that it will get the recognition that it deserves for another year yet. And that is not the players' fault in any way, shape, or form. But that means that all we can do is keep talking about them and shouting about them.
Exactly. And we'll be the ones championing the Championship. There we go. For many seasons to come. Blues Academy, you're right. A product of the Blues Academy and joined the senior team set up when she was 17. And is also in the Welsh under-19s. So there you go. Tegan McGowan, watch this space. Incredible talent there. Perfect. Right. So that will just confirm, even though we have mentioned it before, Lewis and Watford have both been relegated officially, because it was the end of the season, and they will both be going down into the third tier, which is it Premier South, Paul? Premier Division South?
Women's National League Premier South, yes. That's
one. There's lots of words in that title with that. I'm like, there's a Premier and a Division and a League and so they're both going down, and we will be joined by Newcastle and Portsmouth next season in the Championship. It'd be really good to see how they fare. Perfect. Right. So that brings us to last couple of things that we wanted to mention under any of the business that we haven't mentioned so far. Marianne Spacey-Cale is stepping down as Southampton manager, but is changing roles within the club. So I believe she's going to work more with the women's and girls kind of outreach and kind of how the club interacts. So she's not going completely, but she just won't be part of that managing role anymore. You thought that was quite a strange one, didn't you, Paul, when that first popped up?
Yeah. I wondered whether she was going elsewhere, because it was a weird. I don't know who Southampton are going to get in, because maybe they'll promote from within, but Marianne Spacey-Cale is basically the reason. Has been, the figurehead, has been the driving force of Southampton getting to where they are at this point, and that's probably why she's moved to, a more overseeing role. But the next person to step into those shoes is going to have a really big task.
Yeah, well, to keep them like in and around those upper echelons of the Championship, yeah, absolutely. So fingers crossed to whoever they appoint, they do a very good job. And Southampton keep fighting for those top 5, 6 spots in the Championship. Absolutely. The next thing we wanted to talk about was Project ACL. So this came out, was it yesterday, I believe? And it's a 3-year study to reduce ACL injuries in women's football. And it's all to do with, let me get it right. So it's to do with Nike, Leeds University, Carnegie School of Sport, and in association with the PFA and FIFPro as well. So, Chloe, happy that Project ACL is a thing, that it's happening?
Yes. Very happy that it's a thing that's happening, but also it's something that shouldn't be happening. Like, it should already be happening, if that makes any sort of sense. But
yeah, I can take that. Yeah.
But no, I'm happy that it's happening, and seeing people, like Lucy Bronze being like ambassador for it as well is brilliant, because we all know she's had her fair share of knee injuries, and with the amount we've seen recently, like there's just been another one announced with one of the Matildas that she's done hers, so she'll miss the Olympics as well. And it's so good that is half the WSL clubs, like 6 of them, have decided to participate, agreeing to it. They'll share their facilities, the staff, the travel, the schedules, and try and find out why there's all these issues behind it. And it's really good to try and find out what, like, the key factors almost as to why it keeps happening to just like certain number of like the female players compared to the male players. But it also feels like a little bit it shouldn't have come to this level, that they should already be doing research. Like when it got to Arsenal's last season, maybe 4th, they should have been like, something bad's happening here. And you can say it's the grounds, but when 4 out of the 6 happened at the Emirates, it's a little bit like, well, is it the grounds? Is it the boots? Is it this? Is it that? Like, it shouldn't have come to them announcing that they're doing a project ACL, they're doing a research. It should be happening already, and they should just be like, oh yeah, we're doing this project and we've been doing it for the past however many months. It shouldn't be a big thing. It should just already be something that's happening.
Yeah, someone should have just gone, right, there's clearly something going wrong somewhere. Let's get to the bottom of it. You're absolutely right. So just the key headlines then. So female athletes are 2 to 6 times more likely to experience ACL than their male counterparts. Injury reduction programs exist, but the implementation and effectiveness has yet to be evaluated in professional women's football, which begs even further questions. In England, the WSL has grown rapidly, as we know, which is why FIFPro, PFA England, Nike and Leeds Beckett University are working together on this project. So it will deliver guiding principles on ACL reduction, not eradication, reduction, a minimum standards framework, a unique FA WSL data set. Also, it will change the narrative around ACL injuries, myth busting in the absence of expertise, from insights derived specifically from professional women's football with players at the center of it. So it's finally this operation where it is centered on women's football. It's not from any other data. It's not from the male data. It's about, female athletes, what they can do, with the study actually focused on them. So that bit, I'm totally behind. Why do we think that not all WSL teams are getting involved? It's only half, isn't it, Chloe?
Yeah, they said that it's only half of the 12, and I think it's an interesting decision to only have. I'm quite curious now to find out which 6 are doing it and which 6 aren't. Like, it's going to be quite. Is it like a money thing? Is it a player thing? Like, did it go to a general vote? Like, if you want to do it, put your hand up. If you don't, keep your hand down. Like, what?
Yeah, because unless it was like with any experiment documentation research, that kind of thing, unless you've got half on a training program framework and the other half not, as like a placebo effect. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. So only half is interesting. Paul, are you quite happy? Oh, sorry, Chloe.
No, I was just going to say I'd be really keen to see the factors between someone like Everton, who technically only play once a week, and the Chelsea Arsenal, who do like Champions League games and a load of midweek games, the difference in their fitness levels, the difference in their like ACL monitoring levels, like, you know what I mean? Like that difference between the big clubs, as we call them, or like the lower down ones, like that would be really interesting for.
Yeah, because can you compare a Chelsea to a Leicester
Exactly.
or an Arsenal to Everton. Like, can you compare them? Because you're right, the loading is completely different. With more internationals, with more, so it's very much, it should be a blanket across the board, maybe even including championship as well, to see, okay, well, this is all the data, because surely more data is a good thing. Can we pick up any key points from, across the board?
And is it just like a club thing, or is it a international thing as well? Like, will they go with them to the international games, or do they just strictly stay at club?
Exactly. It needs to be like a complete perspective, doesn't it, with that one? It's going to be interesting how they do it and what they find. But yeah, Paul, any closing thoughts on Project ACL?
I think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's done right, it's a good thing. I think, to address the point you guys both made about internationals, I suspect that Nike's involvement means that England at least will be involved. And there will be access arranged to at least the England players in the WSL. Whether we'll see it happen with the others, I don't know. But anything that can improve the women's game and anything that can improve the medical care and the knowledge base in the women's game, you can only applaud it. You can't really challenge it. It's a good thing, and it's good that big organisations are collaborating on it, because we've had situations. I think Man United and Man City had something going off their own bat with Manchester University. I think there was possibly some sort of research project going on there.
Yeah, that went a bit quiet, didn't it, after they announced it?
And then it all went a bit quiet, maybe because it's a long-term project. But
hopefully.
Hopefully this is not just fanfare. Hopefully there will be actual results on this, and we'll probably have to wait a year for it.
Yeah.
A season. So it's one of those things. Come back in the summer of 2025 and see if they've said anything about it. And if there's nothing being said about it or nothing released, then you can turn around and go, well, hold on a minute. What's happening here?
Then we can call them out. I'll say, oi, where's your research? Where's your data? Absolutely. And the last thing we wanted to just mention very briefly, even though it's a really good step forward, per Tom Gary, lovely Tom Gary, recognition fees are to be introduced from next season for academy players. So this is particularly important for those lower status, smaller clubs who, train their players, go through the academy, and then when they're 18, they can leave for free. So it stops, bigger clubs kind of swooping in and taking those products without any compensation. So a fixed recognition fee must now be paid based on the number of years a player has been training at their club's professional game academy. But only since PGAs were launched last year, the scheme cannot be backdated. So there is that loophole there. The new framework, hailed as groundbreaking, involves the following fees. So if a player goes from one WSL club to another WSL club, it's £5,000 per year that they were at their PGA. Okay, so £5,000 per year. A player moving from a women's championship club to a WSL club is £2,500 per year they were at their PGA. A player moving from a WSL club to a women's championship club is £1,000 per year. And a player moving within the women's championship, £500 per year. Okay. So players moving from lower league clubs or those teams without a PGA will not trigger the recognition fee. Okay. Now, even the difference of those fees, 5,000 from WSL to WSL, 500 from championship to championship. So yes, it's something. It's a step forward. Chloe, do you reckon those amounts, it's still a massive gap, isn't it, between 5,000 and 500?
It's a huge gap. It's like, what? Why?
10
why?
times.
10 times more? It's like, why? At the end of the day, they're all doing like the same job, and it's just weird to me that they're introducing it now. Like, why not like a couple of years ago, or even like last year? Like, why is it only being introduced? And it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, I'm not the brightest kettle, let's be real here, but like,
The brightest kettle. Aw.
can't lie, I'm not smart. Let's just be real. Yeah, it just confuses me a bit. So, like, why they've made the decision now to introduce the fees? Because it would be like, you know, Izzy Hobson. She's 16. She's been at Everton all her life. Her just suddenly moving and then getting like rewarded for it. Like, it just seems a bit strange.
It's a good step, but it feels like kind of 500 quid's. It's
nothing, is it?
It's a bit insulting compared to the 5,000 they get in the WSL. Paul, what do you reckon? Do you think it's a good starting point, or what do you think about these recognition fees?
I think it doesn't go anywhere near far enough, and I think it should. I think it should be a minimum, look, you know, flat fee of 100 grand up, particularly for Championship clubs, because you know, if to use, for example, I'm trying to think of an example. To use Brooke Aspin as an example, this summer just gone, signed for Chelsea the moment she turned 18. She'd been at Bristol City since, I think she'd been there since the age of 8. And, you know, she was playing at 16 for Bristol City in the Championship. She was a local girl. She's absolutely one of their you know, in the men's game, she would be considered a foundational player who they hold on to for years. And it is ridiculous that Chelsea went, oh, she's quite good, we'll take her, and we don't even need her at the moment. We'll chuck her in the pot, and she can go back to Bristol City for at least a year. She'll probably go out on loan next year as well. She won't play for Chelsea for 2-3 years. And the loophole is she turned 18, so Chelsea went, thank you very much, Bristol. We'll have her for free, but you can have her back for a year. And like, no, that's theft, especially when it's big clubs who stack up players who most of whom I'm going to play for, like Georgia Fox, for example, where I couldn't even tell you where she played this year. For example, she played last year for Chelsea, for Brighton. You know, Chelsea. She's anyway. Amy Claypole just kind of drifted around and then got half a season at Lewis. Aggie Beaver-Jones as well. You know, if it had gone the other way, and a club had said to Chelsea, right, Aggie Beaver-Jones isn't going to play, we'll have her, and then Aggie Beaver-Jones was having this season at, say, Bristol City, all hell would be breaking loose. But it's just accepted as a fact of life that clubs like Bristol City should just lose their brightest young talents for what is paltry compensation, really. You know, these are. You know, you're a Sunderland fan, so for this, someone like Katie Watson is going to be worth what, £10,000. Chelsea just want a nickel.
Yeah, that Mary McAteer, Katie Kitchen, Kate Watson, all of these phenomenal young players, you know, is a big club. I mean, they should be looking at them because they're brilliant, but are they just going to swoop in and, you know, pay hardly anything when they're really worth so much more? So, yeah, I think it's interesting, again, where they're getting the numbers from. Is it worth it? Emma's absolutely right. Why only 3 figures for the Championship clubs? Probably, you know, Championship clubs, less money. Is that what they can afford? Is it more of a... But then surely if this is implemented more, there should be more money to have the fees and then the transfers and all sorts. So it's, yeah, I think it's a bit of a catch-22 for the Championship clubs. They're not having the opportunity to get more money. But then they're having to pay out and then... So it'll be interesting to see how it works. But yeah, I'm all for this introduction, but I think it needs to be a lot higher. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, because 500 quid's, but it's like your petrol money for a couple of months, isn't it? It's not. It's not what players were.
I think there needs to be it needs to be high enough to be a deterrent, and that isn't. Because that amount of money isn't stopping Chelsea or Newcastle, say, looking at Sunderland, seeing Mary Corbin and going, yeah, thank you very much, we'll have her.
Yeah. There's that. All right, 500 quid. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Because the players, and particularly going the other way, there shouldn't be a fee for players from WSL academies to move to the Championship to play. They just shouldn't. When you turn 18. If you're an 18-year-old in Chelsea's academy and you're like, do you know what? I don't want to sit around for 3 years. I want to go and play. And a Championship club are offering me the chance to play elite football, the second tier. Oh no, you've got to pay £1,000 a year for the academy. No Championship clubs is good. Well, Championship clubs are probably going to be able to afford that, but they're going to bulk at it a bit.
Yeah, they're going to really have to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
a WSL club, particularly a club like Lewis, whereas a WSL club is just going to go, oh, have we got to pay 10 grand for someone who we think could be an England defender in a few years? Yeah, sod it. There you go. Stick them in the academy. Does that mean that they're not going to play elite football for a little while and the local girl isn't going to get to represent her hometown team? Yeah, but it doesn't matter because she's playing for Chelsea. Possibly. It's an example of the business of football, and it's crap. And it's an accepted part of it, but if they're serious about growing the women's game all over the country, they should make it a lot harder for big clubs to talent stack. And this isn't a deterrent. This is window dressing.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I hope that, because it also did say in the article that the FA will keep going back and reconsidering, these fees and what needs to happen. So fingers crossed, again, the end of next season, they go, oh, that was a bit low. Let's increase the fee, which I do hope they do. So the last thing we are going to do this evening then is do some predictions for the next lot of matches. So I will tell you the match. Let me know who's going to win or a draw. And if you've got any score predictions to go with it. So, Chloe, Everton, Tottenham. Everton, Tottenham.
Well, hopefully an Everton win. I'm hoping.
Hopefully. Yeah, Paul, what do you reckon? Everton, Tottenham.
I reckon Everton might be able to nick that.
I think they're going to be on a high from the draw against Arsenal. So, yeah, I'm going to go Everton as well. I'll put these all together on a little graphic of our predictions as well. Brighton, Villa. Chloe.
Villa, I think.
Okay. Paul?
It's an end of season game. Neither team has much to play for, but Villa.
I think Villa away usually do better. So yeah, I might fancy Villa for that one, to be fair. So they are both on Saturday, those two fixtures. Saturday at 12 and 1 o'clock respectively. Next one, so the first one on Sunday is going to be Liverpool United. Liverpool at home. Chloe, what do you think?
I think that could be a draw,
Okay, good. Paul, what do you think?
Liverpool.
I think Liverpool might just edge it, coming off of a win against Chelsea. I think they might, but yeah. So let's see. Okay, so that's at 2 o'clock Sunday. Next one is Man City Arsenal, which is going to be a fantastic one. Chloe, what do you think?
Well, I want Man City to win it just because I'm going to be there and it'll be quite fun to see them win whilst I'm there. So I'm going City.
Paul, what do you reckon?
Man
City? Yeah, you're going for it.
I was in there before you even finished. Yeah, Man City.
Yeah, Man City. Yeah, I hope they do it. I really, really, really do. I think it might be tight, but I think they might just get it. They might just edge it. Perfect. Okay. Next one, West Ham Leicester, Chloe.
Again, I think this could be a draw.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul, what do you reckon?
End of season ball draw. So yeah.
Yeah. I think Leicester could win it. But yeah, I think maybe draw for that one. And then we come to the last game of the weekend, which is Chelsea, Bristol City. Chloe, what do you think?
As much as I would absolutely love Bristol to win, I think it'll be Chelsea.
Give me Chelsea. Paul?
I'm always team chaos. So I'm either gonna look like an absolute idiot or a genius with no in between. Depending on which fan base. But I'm that anyway, so depending on which fan base you are. So I think Bristol City pull off a shock.
Bristol City shock, yeah. Even in draw, I'd be well up for that. I think, Bristol, you need to come out fighting and prove us right for that one. It's going to be another cracking weekend. And then the following Wednesday.
I feel like Chelsea have just had the stuffing knocked out of them.
Yeah, I do.
And I think the emotion of the day might hit them. Emma Hayes' final game at Kings Meadow, having to win, not the championship party they hoped for. Very Bristol to spoil the party.
Yeah, I think we'll all be in Robin that night for a Bristol win. Again, sorry, Rosie, with that one. But yeah, no, I was just going to say there is another catch-up match for Chelsea. It's Chelsea's match in hand, which will be next Wednesday. While we're on air at 7:15, Spurs Chelsea. What do we think? Do we think Spurs could get something from that, or do we think Chelsea, a probable Chelsea win, or will it depend on the weekend?
It could depend on the weekend, but also Chelsea are playing 3 and 7. Like it's going to be, and they've got injuries as well. Like they've got some quite big, significant injuries, like Leopold's and Lauren James being out. For Emma Hayes has just said they're going to miss a couple of games, so I don't know, be tough for them, I think.
Yeah, because what's LJ done? I completely missed that. Is that a new one?
LJ is her foot.
Okay.
But so let me see if I can find it. I know LJ is her foot. Leopold's is her knee.
Okay.
And they could potentially miss Sunday. But Emma Hayes also said in a post-match she's just completely given up now, which is quite funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said, and I can quote, I've had amazing memories at this football club. I'd love to bring more titles to Chelsea. That's not going to be this year, I'm afraid. We will never give up, of course. We'll go to the end, but I don't think Chelsea will be winning a title this year.
Wow.
Oh.
So big words from.
Wow.
I'm really shocked by that. That's
well.
Wow.
This is Sam's clip. Just all three of us in absolute shock.
I literally read it about 5 minutes ago, and I've just sent it to you. I'm like, what?
Emma Hayes saying that is either genius mind games or she's given up. That is a shock. That doesn't sound like Emma Hayes, does it? That's
no.
I don't know the context of it, but
yeah, because I think I saw a picture of the press conference right at the end. Sorry, I did say I was wrapping up. Everyone is still watching. I hope you're still here. Yeah, there was a picture of her at the press conference, and did she have her arm around Aggie? I think.
Yeah, I looked like she was about to cry as well, and.
Yeah, so I mean, to do that conference like together, standing. Oh yeah, was the camera like proper arm around her talking? I mean, yeah, I'd love to bring Chelsea and Chelsea, but that's not going to be this year, I'm afraid. Emma Hayes admits the title is far from Chelsea after a damaging defeat to Liverpool. Speaking about Aggie, she's going to be the future of Chelsea, so I'm very proud of her for that. So that's probably why Aggie looks like she's gonna cry.
That's someone who's out the door. That's someone who's gone. Yeah,
mentally checked out.
She's mentally gone tonight.
Yeah,
mate, tonight has done her. Unless she's an incredibly good actress, tonight has done her.
It just. Again, as someone who's been a manager in a past life and a teacher and all these things, if you've still got something to fight for and to play for, you'd never turn around to your team, your class, your staff and go, "Oh, it's not gonna happen." You just you don't do that. You might be thinking it like, "Oh God, like we've lost to Liverpool. That should have been a 3 points." But you don't come out and say, "Oh well, we're not winning anything now."
I'm just so confused by it. That's
so
not,
unless, like Paul said, that's a power play. Like, oh well, we're not going to win anything. We'll just be over here, and then just like
that,
get it.
That is not Emma Hayes at all.
I'd be fuming if I was on that Chelsea squad to know that your manager's given up on you.
And where's the other thing? She said something else about the players. I'm just trying to find it now. About Lauren James as a foot issue. Melina Lopez as her knee and as a hamstring for Ramirez. But she also said, I'm not going to be too harsh on the players after everything they've delivered over a long period. I don't want to be an arsehole about it, but I want to make sure they feel supported by me until the end.
But you've just said they're not going to win anything.
I don't understand what's happening.
I think
she's gone. Her head's gone.
Yeah.
Like
it started with the poetry, and now it's gone to we're not winning. We're not doing it.
This is either absolute, galaxy brain level Alex Ferguson mind games in the hope that Man City almost think, right, we've broken them, and maybe Jonas Eideveld can do her a favour, or maybe she's just gone, yeah, I'm done. I'm just, fuck it, I'm done.
It just doesn't sound like Emma Hayes at all.
No, she sounds broken. Like that's not the fight you want. You don't want the pushing of Jonas, but you want like that spirit of, we've lost, without the physical violence. I'm not condoning that. But you want that passion from her. And that's just gone. Like that's definitely not Chelsea spirit. That's not Emma Hayes. That's not, unless it's just a culmination of out of Champions League, out of, and that the farewell to it is going horrendously. But you've still got something to fight for. Like, fight for it. What is happening?
You're playing the bottom team in the league, a team who's only won one game all season. You've got a game in hand. If you match Man City's result on, even if you match Man City's result on Sunday, it goes to the final day, potentially.
Yeah, goes like every goal, every point. We've said it throughout the Championship. We'll say it throughout the WSL. It all counts. But if you're telling your players, "Oh, the title is not to be," then you're essentially saying the rest of the games don't matter. Like, you've still got, what's it, three to go?
3 games, yeah.
3 to go, yeah.
Like, you fight like hell for those 3 games if you think you can still win a title, like, because you can. I think we worked it out, didn't we? Mathematically, Arsenal can't do it now, can they?
Yeah, we worked out on Sunday that it's quite impossible for Arsenal. The best they can do is second.
Yeah.
Arsenal could have their worst season. Lose to Man City and lose on the final day. They could have their worst ever season in the WSL, but nobody's mentioned that because it's fancy Arsenal. If Chelsea were doing it.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Has Emma Hayes gone? It's...
Yeah. Because so for ages, Emma Hayes has been like that, kind of that lighthouse, hasn't she? She's got a plan. She knows where she's going. She's doing this, she's doing that, and she wants to fight for it, and she wants to get the trophies. And yeah, to suddenly, with 3 games to go, how are your players going to keep turning up when, yes, they're saying, "Oh, I don't want to be too harsh on them," But essentially you're saying, well, you lost that game, you know, and it's down to the players. So if your manager doesn't have you back, why would you want to go out and give it your all? You would, because of the person you are, and kind of like Erin Cuthbert, we know she's always going to come out, you know, all guns blazing. But if you are someone who needs that extra backing from your manager, needs that extra little push, you're not going to perform. You're not going to go out and do it off your own back. It just
baffles me how open. I mean, again, I don't understand the context. This is just from what I've read from like Tom Garry and other journalists who are there who have heard the quote. So I've just read it, so I don't know the context. I don't know what's gone on beforehand, but it's just really baffled me because that is not Emma Hayes at all. It does seem like she's mentally checked out, and this is a completely different Chelsea side we're seeing from the past 4 seasons, past 4 winners. It doesn't seem like the fight's there anymore, and it's quite sad to see because, you know, these are serial winners. Chelsea, they've won 4 WSL titles in 4 years. It's baffling me, like, what's going on there.
Well, fingers crossed, even if Emma Hayes is mentally checked out, hopefully players like Millie will be like, right, we're still fighting, we're still going. You know, we're not checking out. We're going to make the most of the season. We're going to do what we can. And then it's going to fall to leaders like that to really bring the team together. Because
I mean, the other worrying thing is that Emma Hayes is showing signs of breakdown's the wrong word, but you know, it just a sign where she's just cracked. You know, the strain has finally gone.
Yeah.
And she can't hide it anymore. She can't be Emma Hayes anymore because she feels which is, you know, incredibly sad.
Yeah. So kind of slipping away and very. I think after the match we're going to have to do like emergency spaces to kind of all react to how it goes against Bristol. I've
got no words.
I don't know. I need to go and now watch all the footage, everything, and try to piece together a response. So watch this space because hopefully we will do the spaces and we can get something sorted because my God, was not expecting that one. That bombshell tonight.
This is where it's a bit Rosie. Get well soon, Rosie. She doesn't feel well, so that's why she had to go for it. This is where you need Rosie Chloe or other Chloe Chelsea fans to just go, how the hell do you react to that?
Yeah, like what's the actual Chelsea reaction to that? Because obviously we're all here as neutrals, not as a Chelsea fan. But I will tell you, if you know the manager of my team came out and went, well, we're not winning, and lost that fight, you know, I'd be fuming. I don't know. And I think that might be a good time to leave it there so we can all go have a drink and a lie down and go trolling through social media to try and find any kind of explanation to what has just gone on. So thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat this evening. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date on scores, opinions, everything, staying with us. So the championship is now over, but we do still have many weeks to come of the WSL. And of course, we won't be going anywhere. We've got lots of things to come for over the summer as well. But I could never do this by myself. So thank you very much to the lovely Chloe Bear. Thanks for joining us. If people want to find more of you, where can they do so?
So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at ChloeBear529.
Perfect, thank you. And Paul, thank you very much. If people would like to see more of your ranting and raving, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter down there at Bull W Radio, where I'll probably be either today or tomorrow morning going to see I Told You So about them, and also going, what the bloody hell has it made? Just so there will be much ranting. We'll have to wait until
Perfect. And I don't know if Paul sounded like an alien to anyone else, but hopefully the sound all came through fine. But that's good. And just as a final one, yeah, Emma, absolutely. Carla Ward's not said that once this season. Yeah, even when we were right at the bottom and it felt like all was lost. Was never said. So we will pick up this discussion next time. But yeah, if you want to hear more of my lovely voice, you can find me at T4AT Writes on where am I? Instagram, Twitter. Am I on TikTok? Yes, I do have a TikTok. The whole 115 yards on TikTok. I do most of my stuff on there. And yeah, any social media, really. Come and say hello. Come and join in the fun. We are live every Wednesday at 8:30. So please do join us again next week. So thank you very much. Thank you to my lovely team. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you.